Welcome to the Refined Football Podcast show. And of course, as you all know, my name is Afodle David Chibuzo. I'm never alone in the studio to discuss football. So today we have a very, very important guest in our midst, a Manchester United fan. But before I introduce him, I'll introduce from my right first. Coach, you're welcome to the studio today.
Yeah.
So today we are going to be discussing about Manchester United. And like I said earlier, in our midst today is a Manchester United fan, in the person of Mr. Malik Okpeyemi. You're welcome to the studio, my brother.
Thank you.
So we're going to be talking about Manchester United in general. Their season so far. Of course, we know this season has not been the best for them. This is their worst pour run of form in the history of the club. 15 losses in the Premier League. But one thing is still very, very funny. The fact that Manchester United in the Europa League has the best form. Manchester United is the only unbeaten team in the whole of European club competition this season.
1 out of 99.
They've been amazing in the Europa League and they're the favorite to win it. But today I would like us to discuss some things that are really affecting the club. Possible solutions to these problems. But before I go into that, I would like to read this thing. It's something that's trending. The present coach of Wolverhampton Wanderers was signed after Amorim was appointed as a coach of Manchester United. But he has been able to gather 16 points more than Amorim, beating Amorim home and away using the same system of football formation, 3-4-3 formation. Now, what do you think is the problem of Manchester United? What is affecting them?
I think we have a capacity of rotting business or rotting football team. This is not just a point where you say, if you take off the cap, other body will be fine. No. You can't tell me you take off the pants, then the head is good. No. Total innovation is needed at Manchester United. And based on Wolverhampton present coach, you cannot compare the intensity or the pressure that comes along being a Manchester United
coach. Yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you very much. So now, I want to talk about one player because signing this young man, he was expected to come in and make that instant huge impact in the person of Højlund. A lot of Manchester United fans have now tagged him because of his name, Højlund, now the huge loss. But before I ask you that question, I'll ask Coach, because Coach is also a Manchester United fan. He's a Manchester United fan. At this point, is it safe to say, Coach, that Manchester United should look for replacement for Højlund or still give him one more season?
Yeah, let me be direct with the question. I don't think Manchester United need to keep him the next season. Because if you check his performance, Maguire now as a defender scored more goals
than him
as a striker. And that is why I can see in some of the matches that they play Maguire as a striker. Maybe to see if he can. So for me, keeping him in Manchester United is just like wasting time. Also wasting his own time because he might go to another place and perform better. But I believe the pressure in Manchester United as a striker is too much on him.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. So, Mr. Malik Okpeyemi, this same question I'm going to ask you. Højlund, keep or sell?
We definitely have to sell him. He's not improving. He's not good. I think we had Zeski after him.
Yeah.
Zeski has a difficult beginning, and now he's trying to adapt to the system. Same thing goes to Dogu. Dogu came in, he's not good. He only had experience in just one Serie A team. Yeah. That is Lecce or something. He's trying to build something. Odland is not building anything. I think we just have to sell him. But even selling him is still not advisable for us because our book now, I think he's still like 47 million. If we sell, we're in loss.
Yeah.
The best is just for him to go on loan. Reduce the wages from the cap of our weekly cap and use the money to just get someone else. Let him go on loan for a while. Maybe if he had a good run, then we'll be able to sell him for a better price.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, now, if you sell Højlund, what is that ideal striker in your head because we're not the management of.
Yeah, rumor has it that we are going for Osimhen. I think 2 days ago he had
This rumor has been going on even before 2 days, but it
2 days
became
is,
more.
2 days is normal,
Yeah.
somehow critical
Yeah,
now,
now, yeah.
concrete, because we are getting new hints every day. Let's go for Osimhen or Victor. I think that's the best thing we have in the
Victor
market. right
Gyökeres
now.
of Sporting
Of
Lisbon.
Sporting.
That is one
That
player.
that is where my mind is, because he has worked
We
with
just have to
Amorim.
Amorim.
Yeah.
So
Because I
Amorim
believe
knows
it would
he
be
can
easier
perform.
to work with Viktor Gyökeres under Amorim in Manchester United and Victor Osimhen. Victor
No.
Osimhen is a good player, can fit into any system. As long as the supply is always coming.
Even if the supply is not coming, he's someone that
He's
can
a
fight for
hustler,
something.
yes. But somehow, I know today's discussion is not about Chelsea, but somehow I just believe he might go to Chelsea because of the influence from John Mikel Obi, Didier Drogba.
I would say he has a very good chances of joining Chelsea
Yes,
ahead of Man U.
Manchester United.
Firstly, we don't have enough money in the bank, and even we buy player, we don't buy player. We are going to write a check of like 80 million. Same what the CEO said, actually. So going for Victor will cost us more to going for Osimhen, and Victor has already played in Premier League. He doesn't have a good form then. Yes.
Yeah.
Victor has played in 2 teams in Premier League or so. Osimhen is coming as a fresh man. He's on a loan to Galatasaray with 30-something goals now in contribution.
Yeah, 20.
So I
something goes.
believe getting Osimhen will give us another chances to spend on another attacker or something instead of going for Victor. Because Victor, they both are even Victor Osimhen, Viktor Gyökeres. So the second Victor will cost us like 70-something million. Still trying to persuade Sporting to reduce his release clause from 100 down.
Yeah.
Osimhen already had a 70 million, and we can still bargain down.
Yeah, you can see it's still very possible to beat it down to 60, 65.
Yeah.
Even 55.
From Napoli, right?
Yes. Because Napoli wants to sell. Galatasaray cannot afford it. They can't buy him. So let him come.
Thank you very much. And that thing I would like to discuss about is Amorim's 3-4-3 formation. Do you think it is the ideal formation for Manchester United? I'll start with coach. You think it's the ideal formation for Manchester United, the 3-4-3? Because I have seen them struggle against teams that are always pressurizing them.
Even teams with low block.
Teams with low block, teams with... Once you're able to pressurize Manchester United with that formation, I remember I sat down here last week and I said Manchester United were going to lose to Wolverhampton Wanderers. The reason I said so, because I knew it was going to rest players. And even the big boys are struggling to keep up with this formation. Now, talk more of the younger players that don't have enough time. So, coach, let's hear from you. Do you think this formation is...
when he came with a different formation. And he tried that formation in so many matches. Maybe it didn't give him the result he wanted. And based on the class of players in the team, he believed that formation did not suit them. Because if you see Dalot as he is now, less more as a wing back.
Be more direct.
More than a pure...
That's Amad Diallo.
The same thing with Dogu.
Dalot.
I mean Dalot. The same thing with Dogu. Dogu plays the
Trying to
same.
move on.
Yes, try to move, attack, then come. So that is why I believe he wants to use this formation. Because with these two players now, if you watch Manchester, they are making enough of attack. But their transition, when the attack is on them, it's not exactly working fine. So I believe when this season ends, then do the preseason, they can work with it because so many of the teams are making use of it.
Okay, thank you very much, coach. So, Mr. Malik, just say concerning formation. I want you to be very, very honest as
Manchester
possible.
United don't play such formation. At first, I don't back.
Because I know this is
I know Manchester United to be a team of trying to press 1, 2, 3, then launch a counter.
Yes.
That is how it used to work. But because a lot of people say it's modern football, starts pressing from the back, it is not all teams that have the capacity. We, Manchester United, we don't have the player to play from the back.
Exactly.
That is why I think the coach is trying to buy someone that suits his formation, his character, and he can present his project to them. But do you think we can do it? Because we don't have the player.
That is exactly what I believe is the problem of this formation. I believe the formation is a very, very good one, considering the fact that Amorim is a young coach. And this formation requires a lot of energy. If you must get results from this formation, it requires a lot of energy because this is the game principle formation.
No. What happens there is not a matter of having a lot of energy. he needs to get a holding midfielder
Okay.
that wouldn't join them to attack.
Always
So that
stay
when
put.
they're attacking on the right side, one of the three men at the back shift to the right, then that holding midfielder comes in.
comes in.
So if you watch, most of the midfielders he's using, all of them are what? Attacking.
Always
The wing backs
attacking
are attacking,
conscious.
the midfielders are attacking. So when the counter comes,
We
they
are being
only first three
exposed.
people.
Being exposed.
Okay.
That's
a
what
very
I
good
believe
point. Very good
he has
point.
to do.
And I would have said this formation would have worked perfectly if you have a striker. Dogu came
But you have a
January.
striker now.
No. Dogu came January. He has had more than 17 pullouts with no one to like
Contact.
go there.
Connected, yeah.
The dialogue do the same thing with nobody to contact. We are trying to like create something, but we are not scoring.
That is where Osimhen comes in.
That is why we need a striker. That is why we don't have a striker now.
Now
I'll
I
tell you,
understand.
we
You
don't
have
have
a
a
striker, but you don't have a striker.
We don't have a striker.
You have somebody that
yes.
is up front.
You have somebody. Oh, that's the best language. You have somebody that's up front, but you don't have a striker.
We don't have a striker.
Okay, now, lastly, before I call it a day on this program today, what do you think is the possible solution of Manchester United general problem? I will tell you for a fact. Manchester United form in the Europa League is very, very good, but it is very deceitful. If you judge Manchester United based on their performance in the Europa League, it's as if they are having the best of seasons, but it's a lie. Their performance in the EPL is nothing to write them about. And if they don't win the Europa League, it's a big problem because Manchester United will not be in the Champions League, no European football.
And they will not. No big player will.
Yes,
And
it will be
even our
difficult to
sponsors,
convince.
I think we will be losing some.
Yes, at some point
percentage
they
from it.
want to renegotiate
because our contract with them before is including a
Europa
And now we don't have
competitions.
it. And we can't afford to play our players if we are not participating in that.
So now that's why I'm driving at this question. What do you think is the possible solution generally as a club? Because Ronaldo, before he left, he made some points known to the
he
public.
opened our eyes to where the
Yes, he
problem
made
is.
some points known to the public. And coming in under the new owners, I think they've been making some changes. They've been able to stop the ambassadorial deal between the club and Sir Alex Ferguson.
Cutting expenses.
They cut down some expenses, cut down some bonuses for their workers and the rest, just to save more up money. Now, is this enough?
If we don't try, we might not know.
Because I tell people the problem of Manchester United is beyond just the coach.
It is from the root. It is from the root. So we have to fumigate from the lower structure to all branches. A renovation has to come. And I'm very, very excited when we heard about the new stadium coming. It is going to like bring something different, something spectacular to that thing. Like it's just going to take us to our previous glorious day. That is what I believe. Sacking the coach doesn't help. Changing players doesn't help. Every structure, every part needs to be touched. That's what I believe.
All right, thank you very much. So, coach, what do you have to say? Your final word.
Yeah, on that particular issue, like what you said, total overhauling of the entire Manchester United organization. But now we are talking about the football side of it. Just part of Manchester. The football side of it.
And that's the main thing about Manchester.
So what I believe we have to do is to go back
To the drawing board.
to the drawing board. Know the structure of United. They have lost it entirely.
I think they've lost
They have lost it.
the path to that Manchester
they have
United.
lost it.
Degrees, no more.
What Ferguson used.
That fear
they have
factor
brought
is
it.
nothing.
Maybe every coach that comes in wants to bring in his own style of doing things, his own ways. Unlike instead of going to check the structure
What
that is on ground.
happening,
No,
following-
if they have gone on structures on ground, they will still be buying the same players, the class of players that Sir Alex was buying then.
the class of
Just like
92.
what happened in Arsenal. Look at when Onai took over from Ferguson, I think.
Yeah.
It was like bringing in the same class of players that as a when they do bring in. See Arteta, the same thing. Because they like building younger players,
Yes.
younger prospective, players.
Yes.
If you watch in the days of United, they buy younger prospective players and keep them for
And they begin to
some
peak
number of years.
after
They begin
1-2
to peak their joint.
seasons.
That is why I'm saying that this man is what he's doing now. I would like it in the nearest future because at least he has younger boys of about 21 years on the average time. So when these boys will build together, they can play for about 5 years,
5
and you see very good results.
Thank you very much. Very good observation, coach. Very good points you raised there. So now I'm going to ask one final question before we call it a day on the show. A direct question, a direct answer. Manchester United in the Europa League, unbeaten. Do you see them winning the Europa League this season?
I saw them in the final. I'm not sure if we are winning.
You're on the
I
fence.
saw them
in the
in
final.
final. I'm not sure if we are winning.
So you're not sure, you're on the
I'm not
fence.
sure.
So coach, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, whatsoever that gets Manchester United to the finals, they are going to win them. Do you know the reason?
Okay.
Because the other semi-finalists, I think Bodo Glimt and Tottenham. Let me be frank with you. Bodo Glimt might edge out Tottenham.
We lost to Villarreal in Europa League
The last time.
due to penalty shootout. We are in the final. We didn't take it.
Yeah.
Are you saying that's
Recently, we went to Manchester City at Wembley at the final. We lost it before we gained our FA Cup. I see them in the final. But lifting that trophy is very difficult.
You said the ones they lost. What of the ones they won?
Yeah, that's football.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
So what I'm saying that if Manchester United will eventually get to the finals, they will
Well, you know, we lost a lot of finals.
they will win there. That's always a time to stop.
For sure, there's a new day begins, a new history.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Malik Okpeyemi, first of all, I want to say thank you for making it our time to come to the studio. Despite your busy schedule, I really enjoyed it, and God bless you. Kochi, top notch. God bless. So, to our viewers watching us, always following our content as it drop, please do ensure to follow us on our social media pages, most especially our YouTube page. Remember to keep notifications buttons on so as to receive our content as soon as they drop. And until we meet again, it's goodbye from all of us at TRF Podcast. God bless.